Assalamu alaikum to everyone. Today we are going to study about Snowdrop, which is written by Ted Hughes, whose full name is Edward James Hughes. And in this poem, the poet talks about snowdrop, which is a flower. कुछ लोग इसे कैसे लेते हैं कि it's a drop of a snow. No, it is the flower. This is the name of a flower which grows in winter season. When does it grow? It grows in winter season. Now this is very unusual. It sounds very unusual. It seems very unusual to us because we have never heard about any flower which grows in winter season. आज तक हमने कभी नहीं सुना है कि कोई भी फ्लावर है वो विंटर सीजन में ग्रो होता है. दिस इज द ओनली फ्लावर जो विंटर सीजन में ग्रो होता है. अदरवाइज बाकी जितने भी फ्लावर्स होते हैं वो कब ग्रो होते हैं? व्हेन डू दे ग्रो? ड्यूरिंग स्प्रिंग सीजन. They grow in spring season. So this is the only flower जो कि winter season में grow करता है. Now before talking about the characteristics of this flower, this is how it looks. This is the picture of snowdrop flower. And do remember that how its head looks like. It is slightly bent down, isn't it? So we have to talk about this as well कि इसका जो ये head है ये bent down क्यों होता है? Why is its head bent down? We are going to find it out later. Before talking about this flower, as it grows in winter season, so let's have a look at what winter season is all about. अगर आपने देखा होगा, if you must have noticed कि winter season is the season of destruction, isn't it? It is the season of death. Everything dies out, be it birds, animals, even humans, those who are in their old age, जो कि old होते हैं, they cannot survive in this winter season. वो भी मर जाते हैं. They do die. There are birds who migrate. There are so many humans who migrate from one place to another where there is warm, isn't it? The place that is warm. So it is the season of migration. So many animals go into hibernation. It is the season of hibernation. क्यों जाते हैं hibernation में? जब वो ताकि वो ठंड से बच पाए. So it is the season of destruction, death, everything dies out, everything becomes lifeless. In winter season, leaves start shedding from the trees, flowers die, there are no flowers in winter season. Globe shrinks tight. That means that you can't see life the way it is in summer season, where everything flourishes, where everything blooms. Like in winter season में सब कुछ everything is rendered immobile. कोई भी freely move नहीं कर पाता winter season में. It causes pain. It is really tough to deal with, isn't it? And winter season is cruel in nature. Even poets portray winter season as that, like that. You may have read the poem Summer and Winter in 8th class. उसमें भी poet ने summer को कैसे portray किया है? Summer has been portrayed as a season of happiness, where everything blooms, where everything flourishes, where people live freely. But in winter season, winter season in that poem too has been portrayed as the season of death, destruction, where earth becomes lifeless, everything dies out in this particular season. It is very cruel and tough to deal with. If we talk about the poet, Ted Hughes also has presented a very tough and cruel image of winter season. He says that he creates an atmosphere of a hard winter and uses images from nature to portray the toughness and brutality. तो उसने नेचर से बहुत सारे इमेजेस यूज किए हैं. उसने नेचर के बहुत सारे इमेजेस यूज किए हैं जो क्या पोर्ट्रे करते हैं, विच पोर्ट्रेज द ब्रूटलिटी ऑफ विंटर सीजन, द टफनेस, द ब्रूटलिटी ऑफ विंटर सीजन. कितने विंटर्स कितने सीवियर होते हैं, विंटर्स कितने अनप्लेजेंट होते हैं, कितने क्रूअल और कितने टफ होते हैं. द पोएट डिस्क्राइब्स इन अ फ्यू वर्ड्स द वे द विंटर हैज रिड्यूस्ड द हॉरिजन, that means the vision of many creatures. He says that the world has shrunk tight and many outdoor creatures are on the verge of death. they no longer scurry or fly as they used to. जिस तरह से वो fly करते थे, जिस तरह से animals life जीते थे, जिस तरह से humans अपनी life जीते थे, the way they used to move freely in summer season, they cannot move like that. They cannot live their life like that in the winter season. So this was the brief introduction about the winter season. Now let's find out the characteristics of this snowdrop flower. कि इसमें क्या खास बात है? What are the characteristics, what are the features that of this particular flower which makes it unique? ऐसी क्या चीज़ें हैं इस flower में कि ये winter में grow होता है? It is very strong and fearless. Why is it fearless? Why is it strong? Because this is the only flower which has the tendency to grow in the winter season. It is very strong. It bears, it tolerates that toughness, that brutality of the winter season. And that is why, because it stands strong against the winter season, against the brutality, against the cruel nature of winter. Yes, it fights back, it battles the winter season. इसी वजह से it is called as the symbolic of survival of the fittest. इस फ्लावर को एज अ सिंबल माना जाता है. किसका सिंबल? सर्वाइवल ऑफ द फिटेस्ट का. इट हैज हेवी हेड which bends down because of its heaviness and hardness. Now see, as it grows in the winter season, so this particular flower pushes through the hard layers of, pushes the hard layers of snow, and due to which its head is strong. One second. As you can see in this picture, the head of the snowdrop flower is bent down, isn't it? ऐसा क्यों होता है? Why is its head bent down? Because its head is heavy, and because of the heaviness, its head bends down. Next thing, it is a small drooping flower which is able to withstand the intense cold when others fail to do so. That means every part of nature dies out in winter season. This is the only part of nature which stands strong against the brutality and a severe cold. So these were some of the characteristics of the snowdrop flower. Winter season में हर चीज़ जहाँ पे मर जाती है, ये अकेला एक ऐसा फ्लावर है, अकेला एक ऐसा पार्ट ऑफ नेचर है जो स्ट्रांगली which stands strong against the winter season, which fights back, which survives in winter season. Now the stanza first. Now is the globe shrunk tight round the mouse's dull wintering heart. Weasel and crow, as of molded in brass, move through an outer darkness, not in their right minds. Let's just understand the meaning of the first verse. Now is the globe shrunk tight. What do you mean by it? क्या इसका मतलब ये कि ग्लोब का साइज पहले इतना था और अब इतना हो चुका है? Does it mean that the size of the globe has shrunk? No. The poet means that the life on the earth has shrunk. Everything which used to survive, which was present on this particular globe on earth, it has become lifeless. It has become lifeless in winter season, where humans, where people, animals, birds, they used to live freely, birds used to fly freely, everything bloomed in summer season, but nothing of the sort is seen in winter season. People go to migration, birds go for migration, animals go into hibernation. तो कुछ भी अच्छे से नहीं रह पाता है winters में. Everything dies out, everything becomes lifeless. If we talk about trees, what happens to them? They start shedding their leaves, isn't it? What happens to flowers? वो भी मुरझा जाते हैं, वो भी मर जाते हैं. So no one is able to survive in the winter season. This is what the poet means by now is the globe shrunk tight. Means life on the earth has become dull. It has become lifeless. No one and nothing is able to survive in this particular सीजन. कुछ भी अच्छे से नहीं हो रहा है, कोई भी अच्छे से नहीं जी पा रहा है. It has made everyone's life tough. Then the poet gives examples of different creatures. Round the mouse's dull wintering heart. So what happens to this poor mouse? Poet feels pity. Poet feels pity at a mouse for its plight, for the toughness that for the kind of life it has to live because of the winter season. So the poet feels pity at its plight, at its pain that it is made to go through because of winters. Not only that, its functioning is reduced. The functioning of the mouse is also reduced. Its heartbeat is also reduced. And finally, what happens to it? The mouse also goes into hibernation. The mouse also goes into hibernation with its reduced heartbeat. I'll repeat what happens to the mouse. Mouse का जो plight होता है, उसकी जो journey होती है, उसकी जो movement होता है, जिस तरह से वो जीता है summers में, winter उसे कुछ भी नहीं करने देता उस तरीके से. उसकी जो plight होती है, it is reduced. Winter causes a lot of pain to this mouse. इसकी जो functioning होती है, that too is reduced. Not only the functioning, but the heartbeat of mouse is also reduced. And finally, in order to survive, in order to stay alive, what does the mouse do? क्या करता है वो mouse ताकि वो जी सके? वो hibernation में चला जाता है. It goes into hibernation with its reduced heartbeat. So when we come to know about the condition of the mouse, we too feel bad for it. हमें भी mouse की ये हालत सुन के बहुत बुरा लगता है. And then weasel and crow, as if molded in brass, move through an outer darkness. So weasel and crow का जो journey होता है, the plight of weasel and crow is no different owing to the brutal cold. तो इनकी भी जो journey होती है, that is no different from the mouse. अगर हम विंटर सीजन की बात करें, ब्रूटल कोल्ड की बात करें, सीवियर विंटर्स की बात करें, तो जैसी हालत माउस की होती है, सेम इज द केस विद वीजल एंड क्रो. इट सीम्स एज इफ दे हैव बीन मोल्डेड इनटू समथिंग, दे हैव टर्न्ड इनटू समथिंग व्हिच इज मेड ऑफ ब्रास. इनका कंपैरिजन ब्रास के साथ क्यों हुआ है? सी, ब्रास इज अ नॉन मेटल, इजंट इट? Brass एक non metal है. That means a non living thing which cannot move, which is immobile, isn't it? It is immobile, it cannot move. Similarly, weasel and crow जो है, they too have been rendered. One second. They too have been rendered immobile. Winter season doesn't allow them to live their lives the way they used to in summer season. They hardly roam around in open. They are not able to roam the way they used to. They are not able to roam freely in open. तो ऐसा लगता है कि as if वो sorry, it's I have written it wrong over here. Brass is a metal. ये non-living और metal mix हो गया. It's a non-living thing. Okay, brass is a metal which is a non-living thing. तो जब weasel and crow भी move नहीं कर पाते हैं winters में, they are rendered immobile. They cannot roam in open. So it seems as if they have turned into something which is made of brass. That means as if they have turned into a metal. They have turned into a non-living thing. Fine. उसके बाद move through an outer darkness, not in their right minds. Now see, they cannot move openly during the daytime. Why? Because they fear that predators may catch them. The predators are perpetually in the darkness, holding up to kill the mouse and other prey as well. So उन्हें क्या लगता है, अगर वो दिन में जाएंगे, if they are going to move in search of food and other things during the daytime, their predators may catch them easily. Their predators may catch them easily. But when they move out in outer darkness, they are still not in their right minds at that time also. But why is it so? अगर दिन में उन्हें predators का डर होता है, रात को भी वो जब निकलते हैं in search of food and other things, why aren't they in their right minds? It is because of the cold. Due to cold, these poor animals are not in their right minds. They are experiencing the hardships. What do they experience? They experience the hardships caused to them by brutal cold. You know, many other animals, what happens to other animals? They die. Isn't it? They are either they die or they are on the verge of death. On seeing the hardships faced by them, जब ये weasel and crow, जब ये उन animals की हालत देखते हैं कि उन्हें कैसी hardships को face करना पड़ता है, they fear that they might experience the same thing or same fate. इनको लगता है कि इन्हें भी वही hardships, इनकी भी वही fate होगी जो बाकी animals की है, जो या तो मर चुके हैं या तो they are on the verge of death. That is why even when they move out in the outer darkness, they move during the night. At that time also, they are not in their right minds because they fear that they may die due to cold. Okay, that was the end of the first stanza. Let's take a look at the highlights of first stanza, जिससे पूरा ही stanza जो है या कोई भी doubt होगा आपके दिमाग में वो clear हो जाएगा. The poet talks about winter season. We already read about that. It shrinks the globe tight. और क्या मतलब है इसका? It makes everything dull and lifeless on earth. It reduces the plight of many creatures like mouse, weasel, crow, etc. and renders them immobile. It's them, it's not W, it's E over here. Renders them immobile. It reduces the heartbeat of a mouse, hence compelling it to go into hibernation. ये मैंने पहले ही आपको बोला कि ये माउस की हार्टबीट भी रिड्यूस करता है and with its reduced heartbeat mouse goes into hibernation. These creatures do not roam around in open during this brutal season, isn't it? They are rendered immobile. उनकी movement वैसी नहीं होती जैसी होनी चाहिए या जैसी होती है summer season में. After that, they usually go out during the night. Even then, they are not in their right minds. क्यों? Because of the fear of death, which will be caused to them by this winter season, by this brutal cold. I hope the first stanza is understood. Now we move on to the next stanza, which says, with the other deaths, she too pursues her ends. Brutal as the stars of this month, her pale head heavy as metal. Now, in this particular stanza, poet क्या कहना चाहता है? What does the poet try to say? The poet tries to say that with the other deaths, you have seen what happens to animals, what happens to birds, what happens to humans. तो जो उनका fate है, with the other deaths, she too pursues her ends. Now here, who is referred to as she? It is the snowdrop flower. And what do you mean by pursues her ends? Is it like it too comes to an end? No, pursues her ends का मतलब है it achieves its goals. And what goal does it achieve? It erupts out of the hard layers of snow and stands strong against the brutal cold. So जहाँ पे बाकी सारे एनिमल्स, बाकी सारे बर्ड्स, बाकी ह्यूमंस नहीं रह पाते हैं कोल्ड में, ये अकेला एक ऐसा फ्लावर है, अकेला एक ऐसा पार्ट ऑफ नेचर है जो अपना गोल अचीव करता है. किस सीजन में? इसी विंटर सीजन में, व्हेन इट इज ब्रूटली कोल्ड इनसाइड एज वेल एज आउटसाइड द हाउसेस, एवरीवेयर इट इज ब्रूटली कोल्ड. तो उस टाइम पे, उस विंटर सीजन में ये जो स्नोड्रॉप फ्लावर है, विच हैज बिन रेफर्ड टू एज शी, ये परस्यू करता है अपने एंड्स. दैट मीन्स ये अचीव करता है अपने गोल्स. So poet says that snowdrop is the only part of the nature which has the ability, which has the ability to bloom in chilly winter, even in chilly winter, isn't it? So that is why it is the symbol of survival of the fittest. क्योंकि ये विंटर सीजन में अकेला एक ऐसा पार्ट ऑफ नेचर है जो कि withstand जो कि stand no it stands strong against the winter season, इसीलिए इसको क्या कहा जाता है? It survives. It is the only part of nature which survives in winter season. ये नहीं मरता, ये स्ट्रांगली बैटल करता है, स्ट्रांगली फाइट करता है विंटर सीजन में, इसीलिए इसको सर्वाइवल ऑफ द फिटेस्ट कहा जाता है. In spite of chill, in spite of cold, it achieves its goal. And how does it achieve its goal? What did I say for that? It pushes up its stem. It pushes up its stem through the thick and hard layers of the snow. Thick and hard layers of the snow, and erupts out and then stands strong against the winter season, against this brutal cold. In the next line, what does the poet say? Brutal as the stars of this month. अब snowdrop flower को भी, snowdrop flower too has been referred to as brutal, and stars have also been referred to as brutal. इन दोनों को brutal कहा गया है. क्यों? अब stars को brutal क्यों कहा गया है? Because in Jan, in the month of Jan, in winter season, stars are fierce in light. Stars are fierce in light. Their light is so bright that because of their light, tons of animals die. And these brutal stars help in the slaughtering of these animals. Because of their light, because of the light of the stars, predators are able to catch their prey. Predators are able to catch their prey even during the night. इसीलिए स्टार्स को ब्रूटल कहा जाता है. क्यों कहा जाता है? Because in the month of January, the light of the stars is fierce. These stars are fierce in their light, and because of their light, predators are able to catch their prey even during the night. So what happens ultimately? The light of the stars help in the killing of these animals. It helps in the slaughtering of these animals. Got it? That is why stars have been called as brutal. Okay, that was about stars. Now, why is snowdrop referred to as brutal? It doesn't kill anybody, it doesn't kill anything, it doesn't help anyone to kill anyone, isn't it? फिर भी क्यों snowdrop को brutal कहा जाता है? It is because of its brevity. Snowdrop is brutal in terms of brevity, in terms of courage, in terms of its strength, that it has been referred to as brutal. So why is snowdrop brutal? It is because of its brevity, it is because of its courage, it is because of its strength, which makes it to fight and stand strong against the winter season. क्योंकि ये brave है, क्योंकि ये strong है, क्योंकि ये courageous flower है, तभी ये winters में survive कर पाता है. ये लड़ के survive करता है winter season में, इसीलिए इसको brutal कहा जाता है. तो why is snowdrop compared to stars? Because of the brutality. Stars have also been called as brutal, so is the snowdrop. And stars को brutal क्यों कहा जाता है? क्योंकि stars की जो light होती है वो बहुत ही fierce होती है, तेज होती है विंटर सीजन में. उस लाइट की वजह से प्रेडेटर्स जो है अपने प्रेज को कैच कर पाते हैं. सो लाइट ऑफ द स्टार्स हेल्प इन द स्लॉटरिंग और किलिंग ऑफ दीज एनिमल्स. और स्नोड्रॉप क्यों ब्रूटल है? क्योंकि ये बहुत ही ब्रेव है, बिकॉज ऑफ इट्स ब्रेविटी, इसकी स्ट्रेंथ की वजह से और इसके करेज की वजह से इसको क्या कहा जाता है? इसको ब्रूटल कहा जाता है. एंड इन द एंड her pale head heavy as metal. So मैंने पहले ही कहा, when it has to push its stem out through the thick and hard layers of snow, what happens to it? The flower becomes pale. The flower becomes pale, and because its head is heavy, so it has been compared to the metal. एक तो ये फ्लावर थक जाता है क्योंकि इसे हार्ड लेयर्स ऑफ स्नो के थ्रू इरप्ट होना होता है. इट इरप्ट्स आउट ऑफ द हार्ड लेयर्स ऑफ स्नो. और फिर जब ये इरप्ट होता है तो इसको बहुत मेहनत करके ग्रो करना पड़ता है. सो इट टर्न्स पेल इन दैट केस, इन दैट सेंस. And because it has its head is heavy, so because of that it has been compared to the metal, and because of its heavy head also, the head of the snowdrop flower, it bends down. Got it? So in this stanza, that was the end of this particular stanza. Let's have a look at the highlights of this stanza. ठीक? The snowdrop flower has ability to bloom in chilly winter. It is the symbol of survival of the fittest, isn't it? In spite of chill, it achieves its goal and comes out victorious, and comes out as a victor. It erupts out and bends down as if its dull head is made of heavy metal. So ये सारी चीज़ें हमने पढ़ी कि स्नोड्रॉप जो है ये ब्लूम करता है विंटर सीजन में. इसमें वो एबिलिटी है. इट इज़ द सर्वाइवल ऑफ द फिटेस्ट, क्योंकि अकेला एक ऐसा फ्लावर है जो विंटर सीजन में सर्वाइव करता है. इतनी कोल्ड होने के बावजूद भी, इतनी चिल होने के बावजूद भी ये अचीव करता है अपने गोल. इट स्टैंड स्ट्रॉन्ग अगेंस्ट द विंटर सीजन. It erupts out and bends down as if its dull head is made of heavy metal. क्योंकि इसका head बहुत heavy होता है, एक तो it bends down, it looks very pale क्योंकि इसको बहुत मेहनत करके grow करना पड़ता है, और because its head is heavy, so that is why poet has compared its head with the metal. Hope you have understood this poem. And if there is any confusion, any doubt in your mind, if there is any question that you would want to ask, you can write that in the comment section. I'm going to talk about I'm going to discuss all those confusions and all those doubts in the next video. Till then, take care. Allah Hafiz. Bye bye.